Welcome back to UCL Review, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by Michael McCubbin.
Yes.
What a night we had
What a
yesterday. Liverpool beat Porto, which we'll get into
did.
later. But more importantly, Spurs beat Manchester City.
Let's
didn't they, Michael?
go! Yeah, they did. Overcame Man City in one of the all-time great Champions League encounters. They reached the semi-finals of the European Cup for the first time since 1962.
Jesus, what
it's
a
been that
game.
long since the last great Spurs side.
Arguably one of the best, maybe the best Champions League game ever.
Woof, that's a big shout. I
Name
would
me
have
some other ones in the comments below, please.
Yeah, I'm thinking Malaga, Dortmund a few years ago, Barca, PSG,
Barca PSG I can see, but
Liverpool,
still this,
AC Milan final
it was
2005.
fantastic.
Anyway, it was an extraordinary night of football, whichever way you look at it, in which Fernando Llorente's 73rd minute goal, bundled in from a corner and warded through VAR, proved to be the difference. VAR is king now, isn't it? It's just...
It adds so much, like fair play to them yesterday. They got all the decisions right, and it adds such drama to football.
heartbreak.
It's so good. Sterling celebrating. In fact, Sissoko, when the goal went in for Sterling, went into the changing room because he thought they'd lost.
That's great.
And then obviously figured out that they hadn't because of VAR.
Yeah.
Mental. I absolutely love it.
That is great. Fair play to Sissoko. I would have done the same thing. Absolutely dejected, I imagine he was. But anyway, back to Llorente. The 34-year-old now has 2 goals and 1 assist in 92 minutes of UCL action this term. That's a goal contribution every 31 minutes. And when you saw Harry Kane's celebration afterwards on Instagram, was it? You saw his. I kind of sensed at the end when as he was turning off the camera. Kind of saw a bit of sadness in his eyes, and that's because he's lost his place in the team, hasn't he? Llorente is here to stay. Anyway, jokes aside, obviously, that wasn't the final piece of drama, his winning goal. Sterling obviously scored a fantastic goal with 3 minutes to play. Would have been his hat-trick, would have been absolutely iconic, ruled out by VAR. And the Lily Whites now become the 7th side to reach the UCL semi-final. Sorry, not the 7th side, the 7th English side to reach a UCL semi-final. Obviously, United have done it before, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal and Leeds. England is now the nation with the most semi-finalists in history. They've just overtaken Spain. So, yeah, pretty impressive.
Very good.
Obviously, the game on the night was just absolutely mental. 5 goals scored in the opening 21 minutes. That's the shortest amount of time it has taken for 5 goals to be scored in a UCL game.
I'm not surprised.
Which is just
really
amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, go and check out the stream last night for some of Doogie's reactions in those first 20 minutes. NSFW. But it was very much a smash and grab job for Spurs, wasn't it? City had 66% possession, 20 shots to Spurs' 11, 8 on target to 7, and XG actually had it at 2.3 to 0.8 in City's favour. So paid for missing some good chances there, City. But massive credit to Pochettino. Spurs have now beaten Dortmund 4 times, beaten Real Madrid once and drew with them at the Bernabeu, drawn away at Juve and Barcelona and beaten City and Inter Milan at home since the start of last season. So they've taken some big scalps. And yeah, I think based on their performances in the Champions League in general over the last couple of years, probably are worthy of a semi-final place. And the Argentinian coach rightly lauded his players after the game. Check this out.
I think we deserve to be in the semi-final. My players are heroes. I told you before the game. Happen what happened, I'm going to feel proud about them, and after to be qualified for the semi-final, making history, more than happy and more than proud for them.
Now, after 90 minutes of that game, it was actually kind of harsh that one side couldn't make it to the semi-finals after a game like that. And ultimately, Pep and City's quadruple hopes have been extinguished. Now, there were some sloppy moments on both sides. Danny Rose had a couple of moments. I also thought Alderweireld ducked for Sterling's first goal. However, unlike him, Laporte was at fault for 2 of the goals that they conceded, and Edison probably thinks he can actually save the first one, but it's understandable. It's more Laporte. I don't understand what he's doing to be able to take a good touch. He doesn't, and Lucas Moura gets onto it. And from my view, I thought he just couldn't tell the kits apart yesterday. The kits were so close.
Do you think?
Yeah, on screen.
Yeah, they
really
were actually.
close.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
Though I think in real life,
like that Tottenham
Spurs kit is actually green and not blue, so it might have just been the TV. But anyway, it felt even more harsh that Raheem Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne ended up on the losing sides. Sterling's 90 minutes, get this, 88% pass tag, 2 tackle interceptions, 3 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals and 1 disallowed goal.
Man, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? I was so happy when his goal went in. You know, I was supporting Spurs on the night as a United fan, but I was so happy for Raheem Sterling when he scored that goal, the hat trick to take them into the semis, and then I was quite happy when it got disallowed as well.
Insert our reaction from yesterday, because it was a madness.
Oh my God!
Oh please! It's gonna happen.
It's gonna
happen.
Rashford!
What have we seen?
Oh my God! I told you!
Oh my God! No! Are you joking? Are you joking?
It's done.
No!
This game deserved that ending.
No!
I take back VAR, rubbish.
Now Raheem Sterling has been involved in 26 goals with 19 goals and 7 assists in just 20 games at the Etihad this season, more than any other teammate, which is absolutely mental. I mean, if he doesn't win Player of the Year, it's a travesty, some would say.
I'd probably agree, to be honest.
But the other player I mentioned earlier, KDB, 2 tackles, 3 dribbles, 4 key passes, 3 shots, 3 assists.
He's back, baby. He was so good. It's so good to see him back to his best.
Mate, after
forgot what it was like.
Yeah, literally. I mean, he has been injured, but after claiming 2 assists in Saturday's 3-1 win over Crystal Palace, his first of 336 days, again, he was injured, he now has 5 in his last 2 games, which is actually not that surprising because it's KDB. I mean,
that good?
I remember when Pep came out in the press conference last week after they lost to Spurs and was like, it might be then or just before it or whatever, and essentially said De Bruyne's not good enough to get into the side. He must have known what he was doing because he's got the best out of him. Fair enough. I mean, there's a Players Tribune article KDB released yesterday or the day before. Fantastic. Please give it a read. And he says in that how much he believes in Pep because of it. He said when he was at Chelsea, Jose Mourinho was just like, I don't really want you here, whereas Pep was the first manager to go, I want you in this team. You can be one of the best in the world. And he trusts him, so fair play to him. Ultimately, though, it's another failed attempt for City to win their first Champions League. They've now, since Pep has taken over in 16-17, they conceded 3 goals in each leg to Monaco. They conceded 2 goals and 3 in each leg against Liverpool last season, and now conceded 3 goals at home to Spurs this year.
What happens to them in the knockout stages?
This is it. I think the moment. This is why I love the Champions League, because the knockout stages, when there's 2 legs, anything can happen.
Yeah, man.
Ajax, Spurs, Chelsea, you name it. United against PSG. Like this, as a defender, there's so much more pressure than playing a league game, because it's not, we lost, we got 3 points next week. It's we lost, we've got to wait a whole year to get this same opportunity again.
Of course, man. It's the magic of the cup.
It is. It's the
and
magic
I believe
of
Pep
the cup.
has. This means that Pep still hasn't reached a final since 2011 as well, which is crazy, man. 8 years. 8 years.
And especially, even at Bayern Munich as well, he wasn't able to.
Yeah, never got to final.
Damn, who knows? Maybe they have to spend big in the summer. Now, even though it was their first victory in 6 meetings against fellow English teams in Europe, they just couldn't do it. Pep will now come under some criticism for his selection in the first leg, which saw him drop a lot of important players and play people like Company instead of John Stones. And he wasn't really best pleased about Llorente's winning goal. Here's what he had to say about that.
It's just to see that maybe the goal from Llorente is handball. For one angle is handball. For the angle he saw the referee is not. So, but I'm fan for the fair football, for the fair decision. So the referee must be helped sometimes, and good, is offside, what can I say? So
Pep there looking pretty defeated, pretty mournful over the use of VAR there. I think he just a little bit put out that angle wasn't seen by the referee.
It's hard with VAR, right? Because although when it's goal line technology, it's either a goal or it's not. Whereas when it's with VAR, it still comes down to the human to make the decision. There's always going to be human error. And look, also there's the whole rule about handball. His hands in his silhouette. So does that count as a handball?
Probably won't count next season with the rule changes. So it's a bit ambiguous. I think I like Pep didn't seem too too annoyed about the offside decision. Obviously, those are way more black and white. Whereas, yeah, the Llorente one is a bit more up for discussion. Nevertheless, one man who definitely deserved to go through on the night was Heung-Min Son, man of the match. He once again stepped up in the absence of Kane, obviously. 3 tackles, 1 dribble, 5 shots, 2 goals. Obviously, in the first, 10 minutes, was it? He got scored twice.
The second goal in particular, on his weak foot, arguably his weak foot, probably both-footed, literally.
Definitely 2-footed, isn't he, with a goal like that. He's played 41 games this season, 20 goals, 7 assists.
Jesus.
He's not even a centre forward. 27 goal contributions in 41 games.
Asian Cup games as well.
Yeah, he's
played
not
so
stopped.
many games,
He's not
Jesus
stopped.
Christ.
And in the UCL, he's been pretty magnificent as well. 4 goals, 1 assist in 10 games, 3 shots and 1.4 dribbles per 90. So he's getting as good as he's giving. Now the highest scoring Asian player in UCL history, with how many goals, Zach?
Oh, 10.
No, 12.
Oh,
but that's low. That's so
That
low.
is so low.
But he's overtaken Maxim Shatsik of Uzbekistan, who I've never heard of. He played for Dynamo Kiev between 1999 and 2009.
There's an argument.
Should have known that.
There's an argument to be made that Son is more important to Spurs than Harry Kane.
Ooh,
It's a hot take.
That's a hot take, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
There. Because when Kane has been injured, as he so often has been over the last 2 years, Son every single time has stepped up.
Yeah.
And they haven't missed Kane, which is mental considering how important Kane is when he's on the field.
Exactly. So fair play to Son. I mean, next up, we see it all happen again on Saturday, 12:30, when City host Spurs again at the Etihad. Oh,
What an ending to the season this is.
geez, it's so good. Like,
So good. This is what football is all about.
I'm calling a City 4-1 win.
4-1,
Yeah,
demolition.
they'll be absolutely after it.
To be fair, if both teams play like they did tonight again, it will very, very likely be a City win and probably a comfortable one. So,
yeah. I mean, City also have to play United as well next week or soon. So
yeah,
Good luck
title
to
race
them, mate.
on. Yeah, well, they can concentrate on it now, can't they? So, anyway, let's go on to the next one. We move on, of course, to the night's other match, and it was Porto-Liverpool. Zach, what happened there?
I mean, arguably as exciting. There were a lot of goals.
There were a lot of goals.
Anyway, yes, Liverpool booked their place in the Champions League semi-finals after a resounding 4-1 win against Porto in Portugal. Now they become the first English side to reach back-to-back UCL semis since Chelsea and Man United did it 3 times on the bounce between 2007 and 2009.
Halcyon days.
What a couple of sides they were as well.
Oh, man.
07, 09. Chelsea United, fantastic. Anyway, let's not get into that. It is the first time as well that 2 English clubs have reached the semis since 2009 when United, Chelsea and Arsenal did it then. The result gives the Reds a 6-1 aggregate victory, and coupled with their 5-0 win in Portugal in the last 16s last year, they have scored 9 goals on their last 2 visits to the Dragão, so fair play.
They love it there.
Nevertheless, though, the margin of victory was very flattering. Liverpool trailed to Porto in shots on target, and slightly had less possession as well, and only registered a 75% pass accuracy as a team. And Fabinho, who attempted just 34 passes all game, only completed 50% of them. So although it was a big scoreline, maybe a lot trickier than the scoreline suggests.
Definitely.
And the hosts laid siege on the Liverpool goal. In the opening 25 minutes, they had 13 shots, not a single one for Liverpool.
Wow.
So maybe a bit lucky, the old Reds.
Should have scored probably in those 13 shots.
Anyway, Sadio Mane's opener killed off any chance of a fight back, requiring the Dragons to score 4 goals. Tell me a bit more, though, about Mane on the night, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, he was magnificent, to be honest. He was their key man on the night, starting the centre-forward role, a bit rare for Mane. He got 1 goal, 1 assist, completed 3 dribbles, and made 2 key passes. He also pressed magnificently as well. Klopp will be very happy about that. He made 6 tackles, which is more than anyone else on the field. Him, Salah and Firmino all scored on the night, of course, and that means that only Steven Gerrard has scored more goals than them for Liverpool in the European competition. They've all got 14 now, each.
How?
And that's equal with Ian Rush. Crazy considering Liverpool's European history. That's
Fowler.
crazy.
Torres.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But it just shows how amazing they've been over the last 2 years because they scored
Yeah.
so many last season. I don't have the number with me,
been there
but
for 2 years, for God's sake.
yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah,
Fair
it just
play.
shows just how ruthless they have been, and it's been very telling. All 18 of Liverpool's goals in the UCL this season have come from inside the box. So yeah, you see, kind of Porto had so many shots. I don't know. Like you can kind of see the step up in quality between a team like Porto and Liverpool. I think Marega had something like 10 shots in the first half or something crazy, and couldn't score. As for the home side, Real Madrid-bound Militao was the standout player at right back as opposed to his usual centre-back position. He scored the consolation goal. He also completed 3 dribbles and won 4 aerial duels. He also had 90 touches, which was the most on the pitch. Very, very dominant on the night, and completed 82% of his passes, which was only beaten by Pepe and Van Dijk. Back to the victors though, Liverpool are now unbeaten in 4 trips to Porto. The only club they hold as good a record against on the road is their semi-final opponents, Barcelona. They are unbeaten at the Camp Nou. Can you believe it?
What do you think is going to be
the
scores in the semis, and who's going to go through to the final?
I don't know. I don't
Ajax Spurs. I'm going to say Ajax somehow do it, and I'm going to say.
I actually think it might be an Ajax-Barcelona final. I don't know, but I kind of fancy Spurs to beat Ajax. It's so hard to call. It's so hard to call. Anything can happen with Messi on the pitch. I had a drunken text off with my Liverpool supporting mate last night, and I think we kind of came to the conclusion of
Messi
Liverpool are the favourites, but Barcelona have Messi. So what do you guys think though? Will Barcelona beat Liverpool? Will Liverpool beat Barcelona in the semis? Let us know in the poll.
So that's it here on Football Daily today. Thank you, Mikey, for joining me. But what should these people at home do now, especially if they want to see more Michael McCubbin?
Well, they should go over to Euro Football Daily because Stats Wars the Champions is going on. Very, very big. You're already through to the semis, aren't you?
Hey.
You did a Tottenham against Joe last week.
Flapped him.
And I take on Bobby Seagull this afternoon in my quarter-final.
He's back.
Big match. Big match. Bobby Seagull, probably the best competitor we've ever had on, isn't he?
The reigning Stat Wars champ
I
as
know,
well.
yeah.
Titles
It's
on the line,
tough.
mate.
It's I don't know what it is. It's just it's exciting. So go and check it out. See you later.
Bye.
Get out, man. Had too many beers last night.